stuff, you guys. All right, let's see if we hear anything now. So sorry. Thanks for hanging out with me. Should be easier than this. It is not. I still don't hear anything. All right, one more. All right, are we back? Can you hear me now? Oh, I'll learn it one of these days, you guys, honestly. Here we go. I think I'm back. I think. I've got you way funny on the little camera thing. All right, are we back? Can you hear me now? All right, I'm going to turn that off. I'm hoping it's working. We're just going to go with it, see what happens. Anyways, hi, Stacy from Creatively Stacy. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, my goodness. We're going to be doing this one live at the Elks Club March 6th. It'll be a bigger one. This one's, I think, a smaller size. We'll do 11 by 14, or I have a 12 by 12 wood. If you're local, you want to do that, join us. And today I'm just doing a sweet little Valentine. And these are cheap little things I got at the dollar store a couple years ago. And I'm not entirely convinced it's going to work out how I think it's going to, but we're going to hope for the best. I was going to do a black background, but I'm afraid it's going to completely cover that. So I'm going to do purple. I'm grabbing Brilliant Purple. Dazzling Purple. I have Dazzling Purple on the way to Florida for the Fort Myers paint party. Got sunshine on the brain. Let's hope that this works and we can see it. If we can't, we're going to go a whole different direction. So sometimes when we're making and creating, we just go with it, right? And that is going to work. So yay, I think. Yes, I am going to be able to see that. Okay. So any heart, purple background, right? We're just going to get into the spirit of sharing some love. So as you pop on, say hello. You're catching replay, say hello. There's like a little, that was a blemish in the wood, but it was my paint. Anybody that happens, just wipe it off and go, right? And there is a real lag in the, I put the video on my computer to see it, and there's a real lag. So I'm hoping the video itself comes out all right. If not, well, just know I'm still sending you love. It's been one of those kind of weeks. Okay. Anybody else? Boy. All right. So we just quickly put some purple on there. I'm going to rinse my brush out, dry it on a paper towel. And I just grabbed a couple of pinks and a white. I've got a royal fuchsia and I've got a carousel pink. Royal, I'm not even on the camera, sorry. A royal fuchsia and a carousel pink. I'm going to start with the royal fuchsia, the darker one. And you could use a red and white. You could use any pink you want in white. I'm just going to start with what I have on hand. I'm using a dotting tool. This is like a nail dotting tool. They're pretty inexpensive. You can get them on Amazon. You could use the end of a paintbrush. You could use a toothpick. You could use a Q-tip, an eraser. I'm trying to think, all sorts of things. Anything that'll make a circle, right? We're just going to start by doing some little dots. So this is a super simple, easy thing. You could put a heart on a canvas, on a card, on a piece of paper. when you put fresh paint on, the dot is going to be bigger. As you keep going, which they call walking the dots, I have learned, they get smaller. So you want to get technical and fancy. There's that. For me, I just dot, and then when I start running out of paint, I go get more paint. I'm not that precise about it. You do you, right? I know the serious dotting artists, they have to be the right space, they have to be the right size, all the things. Honestly, I just like to paint and have fun. So if you're with me and you're just crafting and creating and doing things for people you care about and just enjoying the process, I'm telling you, this is the way to go. So I just went ahead, I'm going all the way around it with that Royal Fuchsia. No stress kind of Valentine's things. And this just says love, so you could use it anytime, all the time. I'm going to wipe off my dotting tool. And I'm going to grab the Carousel Pink, which to me looks a little bit like Pepto-Bismol. Anybody else? I don't know. Eh. I'm going to grab the Carousel Pink. I'm going to use the same size that I just used for that Royal Fuchsia. And I'm just going to kind of go in between where my last dots were. And they're not going to be the same size, and they're not going to be the same whatever. And it may not be perfect. And that's okay. I like this brighter pink. We're going to kind of do a little bit of an ombre. We're going to add a little bit of white to both of them and go again. But I just wanted to show you a sweet, simple, easy, if you were like trying to think of little decor things, these would be awesome on little tiered trays, just set on shelves next to a photo, all the things, right? Love is good all year round. And this is a real simple way to do just that. And if this whole video doesn't come out, you guys, I have another one. Oh, could do it again, old school. So here's hoping. If it does come out, I'll do something different with the other one. We'll see which way it goes. And acrylic paint dries really fast, so that's, the dots will take longer because they're like little pools of paint, but the purple is already dry. I'm gonna cough, sorry. Excuse me. Allergies. I've got the humidifiers running and all that, but ooh, we have had some weather. Anybody else? All right. So we're about around on that. I think that is my favorite of the two colors against the purple. I like that brighter. I was going to do the love in white, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do the love in that pink. So that one is called Carousel Pink. That one's called Carousel Pink. I'm just going to grab a little brush, turn this around. So funny, I worked so hard to get the camera so that would be right side up for you guys, and then I turned my whole painting sideways because I'm a turner. Can't help myself. No matter which way I put the camera, I turn the painting for me. And I recommend if you're painting for yourself, you should also turn the painting for you. And this looks really, really dark on that screen that I'm looking at. I hope it's not that dark for you guys, because it's not. I'll post a picture later. So this particular one has the word kind of etched out on it. I guess I would say it's etched. It has a dollar store thing, so you know. But you could always use a stencil, or you could trace it on with carbon paper or something like that. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I might even go back and outline it with a Sharpie. I'm just going to get some paint down here. I don't know if I grab the best brush for this, but we're going to go with it. I am going to figure out this technology, you guys. This is my goal for the year. I find it extremely stressful, the technology thing. I would rather just go to a paint party and paint with you guys and not have to figure all this out, because I'm not good at it. But when you're learning new things, you're not good at them. You have to just keep trying, right? That's what I tell the kids at school. So I'm trying to follow my own advice. So you may see some trial and error adventures coming up, and we'll just figure it out. Sooner or later, I'll get the hang of it. I'm going to grab a different brush real quick and see. So I feel like this little one is so... Anybody else have a hard time coloring inside the lines? Just me. Let's make my own lines. It's just fine. This brush is pretty close to what they've got. And I can touch up around the edges with the purple afterwards, so there's that. And I'm definitely going to have to, because this brush is a little bit wider than what I'm trying to do. Not being very careful today. Some days it goes like that. Okay. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll hit it with another coat. That was way coloring outside the lines. I should have stayed with my little brush. I'm going to go back and grab a little bit of that purple and clean up those edges in a moment. But I'm going to take that same purple that I used. I'm going to add some white to it. Lighten it up a little bit, or a lot of it, whatever the case may be. And I'm going to use that same dotting tool. And now, you guys, as you're moving in, you can use different size things, different size brushes. They said you can use toothpicks, pencil tip, whatever you have. Actually, I don't know. I'll use a smaller one just to change it up a little bit. I just took that purple that I used in the background, and I'm using a smaller tip. I'm going to go right around again. It'll take a little longer using this smaller one. And again, I am just doing till my paint gets low. You could certainly dab every time if you wanted more consistency. You could make a pattern. All sorts of options. Just have fun with it and play, right? I've been watching a lot of Mandela videos, thinking I might try one. I don't know if I have the patience for it. They're pretty precise. Or else I'm watching painters that are way too serious. I'm not sure which. Could go either way. But again, just doing the dots all the way around. Sweet and simple. We definitely do this with kids. They would love it. Their dots would go everywhere, but they would love it. So if you're looking for something to do with the kiddos this weekend, there you go. Let that tapping. All right. Just like that, and I'm going to do a second coat on the love. I'm going to use the smaller brush this time. Try not to make such a mess. And I think I'm going to add a little bit of white to that pink and brighten it up just a little bit more. It's a little bit. Let's add another color. So I've just taken that carousel pink, adding a bunch of white to it, lightening it up. Go right back in here and try to clean up my lines. I was going to do these white to begin with anyways, so now just a really light pink. If your brush gets out of whack, just take it over and roll it. And if you guys are commenting, I am not seeing any of that, so I have no clue if this is working or not. I might have to redo the whole thing. That's okay. It's just an excuse to paint again, right? No worries there. And if you are not on Team Glitter, you would probably not be happy with what I'm thinking about right now, because I need a little sparkle in my life. So that's going to happen. This brush is a hard time. Actually, I think my paint maybe just a little dry. I'm going to add a little water to the paint. There we go. See what happens. This V, I really messed up. Went way outside of the line. So right now I'm trying to decide. I think I'm just going to make it work and just go with what I did. I'm going to make new lines. There we go. Problem solved. And I'm using a little liner brush or detail brush for this. Way easier to do words bigger than it is to do them smaller. But I think this will look cute. Just set up next to something. Set up next to a picture would be really cute. Like I said, if you have a tiered tray, that would be really fun. There. Let that dry. And then we'll jazz up these letters. So if your letters come out kind of not how you love them, I have a couple tricks to jazz them up a little bit. Main thing is I just want to get enough coverage on them that you're not seeing the background shade through them, right? So there we go. All right. Maybe a little bit. So we're going to go back to the Royal Fuchsia that we started with. If that got in the camera or not, it's like a delay here, so it's hard to say. And I'm going to add a little bit of white to that. So again, we're just, so far we have used the Royal Fuchsia, Carousel Pink, and Brilliant Purple and White. That's all we have used. So those three colors. If you only had one shade of pink, just add more white and more white to give you another shade, right? Just keep mixing it. So I'm going to take the Royal Fuchsia that we used to begin with on the outside there. and add some white to it. I'm going to grab another little dotting tool here. And so you will see another shade of pink, which that one's actually not too far off from the love. So I spread it out a lot on my palette and I don't have a lot of pink. Hold on. We gotta mix this up a little bit more. There. I added a little more royal fuchsia to it, so it'll be a little darker. Wipe all that off. So when those first ones dry, if they look really different, I can go back. I don't know, in the grand scheme of things, if it's going to make that big of a difference. I'm going to go back around. So when I'm getting to my letters, I'm just skipping it. There. Pretty cute. All right, so here we are. I don't know why that looks so dark in there. Trick of the lighting or what? Hopefully it's just my computer and not the whole thing. We'll see. All right, so I'm going to look for a better little brush here. My favorite brush is not over here. So this will work. I don't think any smaller. It's a 3. That's a 3. They're all the same size. No big deal. All right, so I'm going back to my original purple, brilliant purple. I'm just going to go around my letters here real quick. See that big blob of water on there? We don't want that. So if you do a solid background and your letters get a little crazy, you can go back with your solid background and touch them up. My B that got way out of whack, go ahead because my background is darker and fill that right back in. Okay, so now that the love is happy again, we're going to take one more color. I'm going to go back to that original royal fuchsia, I think. Yeah. And I'm going to grab the dyeing tool, and again, using whatever you have, let me just add. It's dried up. We have some brush. It does not dot well if your paint gets dry. So you have two choices. Add a little bit of water to it, which can be risky. Could go either way. Or just get brush paint. And you could do lines, or you could do I don't know, diamonds, hearts, triangles, whatever you want to do. But all I'm doing is breaking up these letters so that if they're not looking the way I want them to, this just gives them another level. So I'm just randomly adding some interest to them, right? And it just changes the whole thing. How cute is that? And you could go ahead and dot in the whole thing if you wanted to. I mean, really fill it in. I'm going to let this all dry because these little bubbles of paint take a minute. So I'm going to let it all dry. And then I will come back and do some outlining and some glitter on it. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you again soon.